Hey there, friends. Have you ever sat down after a meal and felt that little twinge, like maybe your body's trying to tell you something? Maybe it's a bit of sluggishness, or you're noticing the scale creeping up, and you start wondering if diabetes is lurking around the corner. If you're over 70 like me, that thought might pop up more often than we'd like. It's not just about the numbers, it's about wanting to feel good, stay active, and enjoy these years with the people we love. I've been there, staring at my plate, thinking, is this really helping me, or is it working against me? The good news is, it doesn't have to be a mystery or a chore to keep diabetes at bay and feel your best. That's what we're diving into today, how a few simple food swaps can make a big difference in lowering your risk and boosting your wellness. After 70, our bodies don't bounce back like they used to, and diabetes can sneak up if we're not paying attention. But here's the exciting part. You don't need to overhaul your whole kitchen or swear off everything you enjoy. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 easy swaps that fit right into your life, little changes that add up to keeping you healthy and strong for years to come. So let's grab a comfy seat and dig in together. First up, let's talk about something that's on a lot of our plates. Bread. I don't know about you, but I grew up on soft, fluffy white bread. Sandwiches, toast, you name it. It was comfort food, plain and simple. But here's the thing. That white bread breaks down fast in your body, spiking your blood sugar like a roller coaster. Over time, that can wear you out and nudge you closer to diabetes. Now, I'm not saying you have to ditch bread altogether. Who could give up a good sandwich? But swapping it for whole grains can change the game. Think whole wheat, rye, or even a hearty oat bread. They've got more fiber, which keeps your blood sugar steady and your energy humming along. I started doing this a few years back when my doctor gave me a little nudge about my numbers. At first I thought, whole grain? That's going to taste like cardboard. But then I tried a slice of whole wheat with some butter and a sprinkle of cinnamon, and it was like a warm hug on a plate. My friend Tom swears by rye toast with his eggs. He says it keeps him full till lunch, no mid-morning slump. It's not about sacrifice, it's about finding what you like and letting it work for you. Next time you're at the store, grab a loaf of something whole grain, check the label for whole as the first word, and give it a whirl. You might be surprised how easy it is to make the switch and how good you feel after. Now, while we're rethinking what's on our plate, let's talk about snacks. I'll confess, I used to be a chip fiend. That salty crunch, irresistible. But those bags of potato chips are loaded with stuff that doesn't do us any favors. Tons of salt, unhealthy fats, and quick carbs that mess with your sugar levels. I'd munch through a handful and feel bloated, not satisfied. Then I discovered a swap that's just as tasty and way better for you. Nuts. Almonds, walnuts, pecans, pick your favorite. They've got good fats, protein, and a little crunch that hits the spot without sending your body into overdrive. I keep a little jar of almonds on my counter now, and when that snack itch hits, I grab a handful instead of reaching for the chips. My sister, who's 72, got into pistachios. She says they're fun to crack open, and they keep her from overdoing it because they take a minute to eat. It's not about measuring every bite, it's about enjoying something that's kind to your body. If you're not a nut fan, try roasting some chickpeas with a sprinkle of salt. Same vibe, different flavor. The point is, you're trading a snack that drags you down for one that lifts you up, and that's a win worth celebrating. And since we're on the topic of what we're reaching for, let's think about what's in our glass. Soda's been a go-to for a lot of us. Those fizzy bubbles feel like a treat, right? But all that sugar, or even the artificial stuff in diet versions, can play havoc with your blood sugar and pile on extra pounds. I used to sip cola with dinner like it was water, until I realized it was more of a habit than a joy. Swapping it for plain old water might sound boring, but hear me out. It's like giving your body a fresh start, and it's easier than you think. I started keeping a pitcher in the fridge with a slice of lemon or cucumber, just a hint of flavor, and now it's my new favorite. My neighbor Bill, who's 75, got fancy with it and tosses in a few mint leaves from his garden. He says it feels like a spa day in a glass, and he's not wrong. You don't need to chug gallons, just sip it through the day, and you'll notice you feel lighter, clearer. It's a small shift that keeps diabetes further away and lets you enjoy your meals without the extra baggage. So, let's keep this going and see what else we can tweak to stay on track. So we've been chatting about how swapping white bread for whole grains, trading chips for nuts, and sipping water instead of soda can start turning the tide on diabetes risk. And honestly, just make you feel better day to day. It's like giving your body a little thank you for all it's done for you over the years. And the best part, these changes don't feel like a punishment. They're simple enough to stick with and tasty enough to enjoy. Let's keep that momentum going and dig into a couple more swaps that can keep you feeling strong and healthy well past 70. Next up, let's talk about something we all love to cap off a meal: dessert. I don't know about you, but I've always had a sweet tooth. A slice of cake or a scoop of ice cream after dinner used to be my reward for getting through the day. But those sugary treats, as delicious as they are, can send your blood sugar on a wild ride and pile on calories that don't do us any favors. I'm not here to say you can never have dessert again. Life's too short for that. But there's a swap that's just as sweet and way kinder to your body. Berries. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, whatever you fancy. They're nature's candy, packed with flavor and goodness. I started keeping a bowl of mixed berries in the fridge, and when that dessert craving hits, I grab a handful. Sometimes I'll add a dollop of plain yogurt or a drizzle of honey if I'm feeling fancy, and it's every bit as satisfying as pie. Maybe more, because I don't feel weighed down after. My friend Ruth, who's 73, got hooked on frozen blueberries. She pops them straight from the freezer like little treats, and she swears they've cut her sugar cravings in half. They're full of antioxidants too, which is a bonus for keeping your whole system humming along. Next time you're at the store, toss a pint of berries in your cart. They're easy to rinse and eat, and they'll leave you smiling without the guilt. And while we're thinking about what's on the table, let's shift over to the main event, those hearty meals we love. Fried meats have been a staple for a lot of us, right? Crispy fried chicken, a juicy burger from the skillet. There's nothing like that golden crunch. But all that frying comes with heavy fats and calories that can clog things up and nudge your diabetes risk higher. I used to think fried was the only way to go until I tried swapping it for grilled fish. Salmon, tilapia, cod, grilled up with a little seasoning. It's light, flavorful, and so much better for you. I'll admit I was nervous the first time I fired up the grill for fish. I thought it'd be bland or fall apart. But a little olive oil, some salt and pepper, maybe a squeeze of lemon, and it was a revelation. My brother-in-law, who's 71, started doing this too. He grills salmon once a week now, and he says his energy's up, and his doctor's thrilled with his latest checkup. You don't need a fancy grill either. A stovetop pan works just fine. Pair it with some veggies or that whole grain bread we talked about, and you've got a meal that feels like a treat but keeps your body in the clear. It's not about giving up flavor. It's about finding new ways to love what you eat. Both of these swaps, berries for desserts and grilled fish for fried meats, fit right into your day without a fuss. I've found that keeping it simple is the key. You don't have to overhaul every meal or become a chef overnight. Maybe you try berries one night this week, or grill a piece of fish instead of frying next time you're in the kitchen. It's like planting little seeds. Each one grows into something good for you, and before you know it, you're feeling the difference. My cousin Mary told me she started with just one swap, berries instead of her usual pie, and it snowballed from there. She's down a few pounds and says her joints don't ache as much. That's the kind of win that keeps you going. We're building something pretty great here, aren't we? Little by little, these choices add up to a body that's happier and a diabetes risk that's further away. Let's keep rolling and see how we can tie it all together for the long haul. All right, we've been having a great time swapping out some old favorites for new ones. Whole grains instead of white bread, nuts for chips, water over soda, berries instead of heavy desserts, and grilled fish in place of fried meats. It's like we're giving our kitchens a little refresh, and our bodies are thanking us for it. These aren't just random changes. They're easy steps to keep diabetes at arm's length and boost your wellness so you can enjoy these years after 70 to the fullest. Let's wrap this up with some final thoughts to keep you inspired and feeling good about where you're headed. One thing I love about these swaps is how they don't feel like a big sacrifice. Take that grilled fish we talked about. It's not just better for you. It can taste amazing with a sprinkle of herbs or a splash of lemon. I've started playing around with it, trying different seasonings like garlic or a little paprika, and it's become something I look forward to. My neighbor Frank, who's 74, told me he was skeptical about giving up his fried pork chops, but after grilling some tilapia with a bit of butter, he's hooked. He says he feels lighter after dinner now, not stuffed, and that's a feeling worth chasing. It's all about finding what clicks for you. Maybe it's salmon one night, or a piece of cod with your favorite spice. The point is, you're still eating what you love, just in a way that loves you back. And those berries, they're not just a dessert swap, they're a little burst of joy anytime. I've gotten into tossing a handful into my morning oatmeal, or just nibbling them while I read the paper. It's funny how something so simple can brighten your day. My sister-in-law, who's pushing 76, started keeping a bag of frozen raspberries in her freezer. She calls them her emergency sweets for when she's tempted by the cookie jar. She's noticed her energy's steadier, and she's not crashing like she used to after a sugary treat. It's these little wins that stack up. Your blood sugar stays happier, your waistline doesn't creep up, and you've got more pep in your step for the things you want to do, whether that's a walk with a friend or playing with the grandkids. What's really hitting home for me is how doable this all is. You don't need to flip your whole life upside down. Just start with one swap that feels right. Maybe you pick up a loaf of whole grain bread next time you're shopping, or grab a bag of almonds instead of chips. I remember when I first swapped soda for water, I thought I'd miss the fizz, but after a week with a slice of orange in my glass, I didn't even look back. My friend Doris, who's 72, started with nuts instead of her usual pretzels, and she says it's like her body's running smoother. She's not as tired in the afternoons. It's not about perfection, it's about progress, and every little choice moves you further from diabetes and closer to feeling your best. So, here we are with 5 easy swaps in your pocket: whole grains, nuts, water, berries, and grilled fish. They're like a team working together to keep you healthy and strong without making you feel like you're missing out. I think of my Uncle Joe, who's 78. He started making these changes after a scare with his blood sugar, and now he's out gardening again, grinning like he's 50. That's what this is all about, staying around for more of those good moments. You don't have to do it all at once. Just pick one and see how it feels. Before you know it, you're building a habit that's as natural as breathing. What do you think? Any of these swaps catching your eye? Have you tried something like this before? Or is there a favorite food you'd tweak to make it work for you? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Your ideas always spark something new for me. And if this clicked for you, give the video a little like. It's a sweet way to say we're in this together. Oh, and if you want more tips to keep feeling great, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more up my sleeve. Here's to staying healthy, happy, and full of life, no matter how many candles are on your cake. You're doing amazing. Keep it up.